I just live by the ABCs. Adventurous, brave, creative.
What'd you know about the building?
I heard barking, thought I smelled gas. Just got Oh my god. That really happened.
Hey, even look at that. Hey, even look at that.
I can't really talk right now. I'm on my way to a volcano. What the?
Sipping on some cold brew, yeah, that's what we do. Raise your glasses high, let the good times ensue. With every sip, we're feeling fly. No need to pretend, the party's just getting started. So let's do it again. We're the crew of the Captain Did Nozzle Brew. We love our beer and we love our big cans too. From hoppy IPAs to smooth pilsners on tap. We're living for the moment, ain't no time to nap. Beer love, flowing through our veins, filling up our cups, taking away the pains, raising up. Let's toast to this crazy ride. Beer love, it's the fuel that keeps us alive.
Hi. Saturday. Only got one more day to kill before I get to go back to work. What are we looking at? Looking at a product of Mexico. Victoria. Another one in the Din saga. And I'm going to open it with some old school technology. Almost died right there. So I start this video with a very heavy heart. Found out today that Christine's good friend, and some of you have, I don't know if any of you have met her in person, Mary. You've heard me speak of Mary. Mary passed away at the age of 63. I'll miss Mary. Mary? Kind of smells a little bit more of a caramel than yesterday's, and it is a little bit darker, clear, which is amazing for a product from Mexico. It's not bad. I think I like this a little bit more. A little bit more of that maltiness to it. So evidently, Mary realized that something bad was happening and called 911, and they did not arrive in time. Yes. On the wrong video, Jolson says, Too Hard to Sunny Slopes Club needs cowbell. Oof, just missed it, Jolson. J-Dog says, first, bean first. Smile Money says, here, bean there. Rich says, cheers all, and you know he means it. Mike says cheers, and you think he means it. Depends on how much grain alcohol is in his system. Salty says, naked shark, do. Miss 27 says, would you be the ninja of nakedness who likes sharks naked? All of a sudden I really like SpongeBob. Salty says back, naked sharks are tasty. Miss 27 then says, ha ha. And then Sharky says, naked me, do. And Mr. 27 says to Sharky, no naked brew babes, do. Almost. Mike says, stop pissing on the floor and you won't have any puddles on the floor. Gone today. Oh, yeah. Rip it. Forgot to stop at the liquor store and get some more nans. So after this one's gone, I have one more. Caitlin. She sends me a picture. I go, yeah, I'm almost out. She goes, yeah, I've got most of this one plus an unopened one. Picked up some more Lindbergher. That's not it. That's the other one that I opened. Christine made me bring it down here. It was unopened in a Ziploc baggie. This one's going to be very nanny. This is my favorite for the beer mixes. Well, actually right now, I think the ultimate Bloody Mary would be a Does It mix. Zing Zang, a little filthy, and a little nannies. Nan again. Nan this, Jeremy. I will admit though, when it just comes to a decent priced go-to, the you know that thing, Jeremy, that one's probably the best. But tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow, and I don't know which one of these I'm gonna do. I realize it takes it away. Yes. Everything's yes. The hair would be awesome if it was longer. Now, what is the difference between these? Jimmy's Pickle from Zing Zang or Dill Pickle from Zing Zang. How much of a difference could there possibly be? See, I don't even get why, if you've got some sponsor work and contains 80% juice. This one contains 74% juice. I don't. And then if I waited a week and we reviewed, say we review this one tomorrow, and then a week from now, we review this one. After a week, there's not going to be any of this because I'm going to probably use it for beer because I like Zing Zang. Zing Zang is But I'm thinking this for tomorrow. I'll be right back. Whew, false alarm. It's just seemed a little gooey. Ooh, now we're getting into the good stuff. The end. Usually it's a little bit more stanky. Smells like I was giving out free prostate exams. Smell my, don't you wish you could add 4 inches? Cobra says, that's what she said.
Listen, you fake news. You fake news.
Add 4 inches? I'd be happy with 4 inches. Yeah, I've come to the conclusion that I personally think there is a fair amount of people that would like Limburger cheese if you just had some and didn't have to deal with the smell. Because I'm not trying to force some of you to spend, I don't know what your area is like. For me, it's $6.97. $7 for that block of Limburger. I still gotta find a time that I can find the cheese place over in Superior that's open. Being that I'm planning on working some, for you people, some normal hours, which means I may not be leaving the job site until, it also, let's see. Nope, they still would not be open. I mean, I'm going to have a whole house all to myself. When that happens, I have no problems. I like being on the job by 6 o'clock in the morning at the latest. I'm able to get a 8-hour day in and still probably be hanging out with you by 3 p.m. Central. Or more. I don't know. I had a Cobra. The real Cobra burnout. Yeah, it's... those hellions just aren't going to buy themselves. Bad says, greetings, Captain. Greetings, Bad. Clover says, hey. Oh, yeah. Oh, McLean. I'm also sorry I lied to you. I thought both of my Makita tools were supposed to be in today. It was some rail covers that I ordered that's supposed to be in yet today. And the Makita Sawzall, that's not going to be here until Monday. I seriously think it was originally Saturday, but there's that. Ooh, yeah. But you did ask me to show you what I have so far. Aren't they cute? And, oh, hang on. Caitlin, cheers. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Sharky did not shoot that. He didn't shoot that. No, he did not shoot that either. Okay. So this is the way the Makita nailer comes in one of these boxes, and you flip these to open it, and then over here on the side they actually send you, there's actually another set of latches, so that if you have another tool that has this style box, then you can connect a bunch of these together, because I've seen guys putting them on carts. I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know how long I'll be using it like that. Obviously, it keeps it a lot, you know, I don't want my shit banged unless McLean's here. But, you know, unlike some tools, at least it gives you room inside for everything. And you have the nailer. The Makita XNB02, and this is the kit. So it comes with a charger, and now I think I personally have maybe I put them all out in the garage. I keep the 2-slot one usually down here, but charger. One battery is on it. It's a 2 amp hour. Another 2 amp hour. Pair of safety goggles. That spot is also a battery spot. So you can put. Of course, the salesman told me that you can, yes, you can easily get by with just owning one battery for this guy, because even though it's only a 2 milliamp battery, it's their smallest battery. This battery will drive 1,000 nails. And I didn't bring in any nails. A depth adjustment. There's a switch on here so that, I don't know if that turns off the safety. I don't know, but you can. It's got a picture of one nail or multiple nails. I think it's just made. Oh, I know what it would be. You squeeze the trigger, and you squeeze and hold the trigger. It's binary, I guess. Squeeze and hold the trigger, and every time you touch down, it does have a lockout for last round. And it's a 16 gauge, if I hadn't already mentioned that. Oh, this is kind of cool. Comes with an extra cover, a Nomar tip, attached right to it. That's nice. Other than that, I have not used it yet. It'll fire from a 1-inch 16 gauge nail out to a 2 1/4. And I was out, before I came in, I was out in the garage working on some of my sanding equipment. And I realized from the days gone by, I still have 2 big boxes of 2 1/2 inch 16 gauge straight nails and 1 box of 1 1/4 inch. So I'm good, but Rick already knows if I do any work for him, whatever I need for supplies, I just buy it with my credit card, which is actually in this case his credit card. So McLean, you wanted to see this? The one thing I thought was interesting is from the pictures, I thought this was like big and bulky or something. Ooh, lock and unlock. The distance from here to here is actually less than the Milwaukee angled distance from there to there. Besides that, like I've already said, the guy behind the counter is like, Eric, we just don't see these being returned. DeWalt, Milwaukee, yes. This, no. So tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm going to clean up my my pass load nailers, because I'm just going to sell my my framing gun. I'm not really a huge fan of nails. I like using the torque screws. I know they take a little bit longer, like if you're building a wall, but I just feel you have a better job when you're all done. And if I am gonna actually do, if I am actually gonna build a wall and I want to use nails, I am just going to buy a pneumatic because it would be used so little that I'll just run it from an air compressor, and I'll do like I normally do. Get at least 100 feet of hose and leave that thing as far away from me and preferably outside as possible. You know, the one thing I don't know if this has or not is a light, and it kind of looks like it does. I mean, maybe I could. Oh yeah. So there you go, McClaney. My Sawzall, or whatever the hell they call it, will be here on Monday. There's still a few tools that I'm short, but kind of like I'll wait to purchase anything else until that moment comes that I actually need it. Stuff like that in the Sawzall. The only Sawzall I've ever owned in my entire life was the Milwaukee Hatchet. I did like the style. Like this, it was like more like a traditional Sawzall. Well, not really, because you gripped it like that versus like that. But you press the button and stop it right halfway, or press the button and have it be. But there's no way in hell I was going to pay $100 for old school battery technology. I sold all of my Milwaukee stuff on Facebook Marketplace with zero regret. I'm sorry, but when and I understand, because tools and trucks are probably a lot alike. You know, you're either yellow, red, or blue. And I'm here to tell you that I've owned and used everything. She's hot. From you know that show. We'll just leave it as she's hot. It might come to me between now and the next time I take gabapentin. Big Bang Theory. See, wait, you wasted your time typing that all out. I would personally purchase. God, it's a tough call. I would probably buy DeWalt over Milwaukee. I mean, it was funny because, well, then again, Greg did like to argue with you no matter what. I mean, the sky's blue. No, it's not. It's kind of gray. Go fuck yourself. Really? Can you go fuck yourself? Because if I could go fuck myself, I'd go fuck myself. Just shut up. In 1 year, he burnt up an impact, and he had to have one drill serviced, and the other drill, which he was using on the first or the second time ever, stopped working. And I think that got lost somewhere because it was gone so long that Milwaukee finally just told the tool, where the hell were we? The tool is over in Superior. They told him just give him a brand new one. So tools that three tools less than a year old, all shit. To this moment in time, this is the only tool that I retired from work, because we had a policy. I buy it the first time, and if it has to be replaced, you pay for it. And this tool burnt up at work. So I threw it in the garbage and purchased a brand new one with the company credit card. So yeah, it's a piece of shit. I keep it in there to hold the wrenches and shit down. You know, the funny thing is, to this moment in time, I have never taken a battery out of service. But we talked about this the other day. You beat the shit out of a battery, and you'll get more life out of it than if you use it here, and then 6 months later or 3 months later you're using it. And yeah, that kind of shit is just almost like takes on a life of its own. It wants to be used. It's like my Subaru. It punishes me every time it sits. Yes. Oh, hell yes. So, yeah, I think that's interesting. To this moment in time, I have never taken one of my Makita batteries out of service. And that kit is at least 10 years old of being used 5 days a week. And then a lot of times it would come home with me and get used on the weekend. But because that drill is a complete piece of shit and burnt up and doesn't work anymore, I leave it here. Yes. And this round of Show Me Your Tatas is brought to you by her. So is she a real strawberry blonde? Curious minds want to know. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Ed. Sorry. Dan, this really is not bad. I don't know about a bloody beer. It has a nice kind of little malty smoke, not even burnt, just a little bit more of a edgy kind of a malty caramel at the end. And then again, it is a lot better than that Boxer. Sharky, so I can't forget. This would, as expected, this one should be the easiest to see, considering the end of the projectile is roughly 2.5 inches down the barrel. And then we got the, so I don't put my hand over the end of the barrel so nothing bad can happen, that awesome rotating effect to take away a lot of the felt recoil. A little prodigy action here from Jade Elite Ammunition. Turn a 40 cal into a 10 millimeter. See? But auto. You like this? This is the one that's been chambered 7,000 times. The edge is all nicked up from extractors, and it's getting a pretty good dimple in there. That's why I never aim it at anything I wouldn't want to shoot. Unfortunately, today when I chambered it, Matt wasn't here. And I think Mr. Projectile is not, I mean, all things considered, not too bad, but slowly getting shoved down the barrel. I got to get this out. This was a lot of fun to shoot. Don't aim it at the boiler. Super stank. I'll take the next one. I mean, she looks like the whole package is probably pretty sweet, but I'm gonna gamble. I would rather have the last one. And just for the record, when I say had, you know, take her out to Arby's, maybe play some tiddlywinks or something like that. Of course, Sharky, I know don't need to answer this. Sheeple Gun Guy. Life is a drama full of tragedy and comedy. You should learn to enjoy comic episodes a little more. Mega. Smile Money says, well, yes, that's why I'm here. Oh, Ellie. Oof. Hey, out of curiosity, and thank you, Matt, for sending it to me, but, well, not really a but, because, you know, that's supposed to erase off everything I'm about to say. Matt sent me a thing that just says, holy fucking bombshell, share this like your lives depend on it. It just goes to show that the WHO, the whole thing, why when you get why when you get the jab, anything like that, Why are they protected from being able to sue you? Basically, there's proof. They're smart money. You can't even say that, oh, Eric is just making shit up. I mean, this is a congressional...
anything. They actually went to the trouble of telling...
In 1938,
What the fuck?
telling us that it was going to...
What?
there was a gel.
Well, the translators are gone, and the live stream is waning, which means that if we just listen to my colleague Matthias, the best thing in the world would be to leave it to you, the people. Now it's up to you to share what clearly, based on the cavernous emptiness we see in all of these spaces, is only going to be heard if you share it. So it feels very appropriate that I should be the one
If you want to fast
with the
forward...
quietest voice. But let's let that lion roar, shall we?
I want to share this.
I'm done talking about COVID, and I'm done talking about SARS-CoV-2, and I'm done for a very simple reason. For 110 years, we, the people of the world, have been lied to. We're a group of very small number of criminal industrial conspirators decided to subordinate the entirety of the human population for the purpose of their sinister plans to enrich themselves while impoverishing and killing the rest of humanity. And I'm done being polite. We've long passed polite. When the words acceptable death rate become part of an industrial norm, we have lost the plot of humanity. And that's not my words. Those were the words of the World Health Organization and of Pfizer and of Moderna when they were given the authorization to begin the process of killing human beings in the interest of advancing their goals. Next slide. And I'm also not going to sugarcoat this. This is a criminal cartel. We are acting as though there's some sort of redeemable quality somewhere in some esoteric layer that somehow or another the World Health Organization must have some salutatory benefit. Well, I'm going to tell you, since its formation in the 1940s, the World Health Organization has been nothing more than a criminal cartel that has a sole and singular intent. And I will show you the document that proves what I'm saying. This is not an allegation. This is actually provable by their own words in their own hand. And they use a four-step process to execute every one of their nefarious plans. They begin by planning an exercise, then they go to the business of funding that exercise, then they create the rationale for the thing that they're going to do, and then they deploy and profit from it. And in violation of 15 U.S. Code Section 19, which for those of you listening, coincidentally started with the Clayton Act in the same year that the World Health Organization in the United States, 1913, the same year the World Health Organization's progenitors also started. So I find it fascinating that we passed the Clayton Act in 1913 and we set in motion 110 years ago the criminal conspiracy, which we now call the World Health Organization. 110 years later. And in violation of TIFU, or TEFU, I don't even know how to say it, the TFEU, the treaty allegedly for the functioning of the European Union, which I think needs to now be called the Treaty for the Dysfunctional European Cabal. Article 101 unambiguously lays out the conditions that this was never a public health anything. It was racketeering for the purpose of instilling terror to adapt the behavior of a population.
Is a myth.
Period.
Jolson.
That's what it was. That's what it always was. And we can come up with every theoretical argument we want to make about things, but the problem, even with the theory that we had an outbreak of something, is falsifiable for the data from Zurich that shows us that in the year of the death pandemic of the globe, life insurance companies paid $30 billion less in claims. Now, if there's a medical professional or a social professional or anybody else who wants to debate that we could develop a virus cunningly that could find out your bank account, your insurance policy statements, and whether you're paid up on your premiums, that's a big ask. It turns out that the data is unambiguous. We did not have a pandemic, we had genocide. And we need to call it what it is. Next slide. When I say we planned it, let's make sure we understand exactly the not-so-fine print of the fine print. And I want to call your attention first to the right-hand column of this slide. This is the 2011 data that the World Health Organization, the Wellcome Trust, PATH, and the Gates Foundation did on their wonderful worldwide program for a malaria vaccine for children under the age of 6 months of age. And in their clinical trial, it's helpful to point out that they murdered 66 children in the vaccine group and then cunningly used the term control for a control group in which they murdered 28 children. Now, the reason I said murdered and the reason why I use that term is because it's exactly what it was. Because it turns out that this control group was not a saline injection. It was not some sort of innocuous, innocent thing. It was actually a cocktail of other known pathogenic disease-carrying injections. The control group was known to kill people, and the experimental control group was actually theoretically maybe going to kill people. And what we did was we actually went ahead and murdered them all. And cunningly, under Article 5, Section 13, which I've put on this slide, I want you to understand why I said, at its formation in 1947, when the WHO was funded and founded, it was funded and founded by people intent to commit a crime because of their own language. Section 13 of Article 5 ends with the following statement: immunity from personal arrest or detention, blah, 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 immunity from legal process of every kind. Now, if you didn't intend to commit a crime, why would you need to give yourself permanent and absolute immunity from every form of prosecution, and it's worse, even investigation for prosecution of every kind? People sit there and pretend, well, that's like diplomatic immunity. Do you realize this isn't even meeting the standard of diplomatic immunity? This is a criminal organization who set in motion their own law to protect themselves against crimes they knew they were going to commit. And when I say they knew they were going to commit, I mean they knew it. Because their first Director General, none other than Dr. René Sand, who happened to be in the hospitality of the Germans in Dachau in 1940 earlier, in 1947, mysteriously, with the largesse of the Rockefeller Foundation, was nominated to become the first Director General of the WHO. And within 5 short years, René Sand decided to authorize the real purpose of the WHO in writing by then Director General Dr. Brock Chisholm, who advocated for population control as its primary objective. Does that sound like public health to anyone in this room? This is not public health. This is the advancement of the same genocidal program that began with the Carnegie Foundation's funding of the eugenics office at Cold Spring Labs in the United States in 1913 under the philanthropy of Andrew Carnegie.
Rich says clear and green
People,
bottle
stop
glass
fooling yourself.
makes beer skunky.
We debate the leaves on the tree of what we call this pandemic thing, but we're not going to the root. This was an organized crime, racketeering entity set up to give itself first absolute immunity and then execute its plans to make sure it controls who lives, who dies, and who gets any chance at life. And if you think that I am somehow inflating numbers, let me be unambiguous. Under every treatment of tax provision, If I were to tell you that there is an 88% controlling interest of any organization, you might conclude that that actually aggregates into a controlling interest. And it turns out that if we look at the foundation donations to the World Health Organization, 88% of those come from a single organization, the Gates Foundation. That constitutes a violation of every competitiveness law in Europe and every competitiveness law in the United States. This is absolutely not only not an independent, charitably funded donation, but more importantly, under the tax laws on both sides of the Atlantic, this constitutes directed donations which specifically are forbidden and do not have any place anywhere in the Charter of the World Health Organization or any of the UN-affiliated organizations. When I say this is a crime, I mean it's a tax crime, a racketeering crime, a money laundering crime, and now the crime of racketeering leading to murder and global terrorism. Next slide. I told you that the second thing after they plan it is they fund it. And why don't we use the criminals' language in their own words, because it's the best way to say it. When they actually planned the release of the use of a biologically modified chimera associated with the model derived from coronavirus, they actually said the following: to sustain the funding base beyond the crisis, we need to increase the public understanding for the needful medical countermeasures, such as a pan-influenza or pan-coronavirus vaccine. Now, let me pause for just one moment and remind you that the crisis that they were speaking of was a crisis of diminishing funding. There was no health crisis. This was a crisis of their coffers were starting to run dry. That's the crisis. And let's read on. A key driver is the media, and the economics will follow the hype. We need to use that hype to our advantage to get to the real issues. Investors will respond if they see profit at the end of the process. That is officially the statement made by the conspiratorial cabal that by that time was the decade of vaccines put in motion in 2011 by the Global Preparedness Monitoring Board of the World Health Organization, and it was the funding base for Peter Daszak's partnership with the chimeric production of pathogens both in North Carolina and in Wuhan. So don't tell me that we have to do an investigation into where this came from. The criminals have admitted to it in their own words. Next slide. And now we get the fun one that no one in Congress is willing to address, which is the elephant in the room. On October the 21st, 2014, despite the multiple conversations between Senator Rand Paul and Anthony Fauci, where we've been told that Rand Paul has done everything he can to put Fauci on the ropes. He has had in his possession the letter that you see on the left. And it is the letter, conveniently on NIAID letterhead, sent to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, which unambiguously states that during the gain-of-function moratorium, which, by the way, if we use the word moratorium, feels like that means you're supposed to stop. Why don't we go ahead and look at two pieces of this letter. First, the second bullet under Project 1. Which, by the way, was not part of the original grant.
Cleans this?
This was to look at the novel functions of the virus pathogenesis in vivo. You know what that means? In living systems. The grant was supposed to be clinical simulations and models. But this grant was modified with this letter to say we were going to authorize gain-of-function research during the moratorium in living systems. And then we love the last paragraph of this letter, which conveniently says, as your grant is currently funded, this pause is voluntary. How many times have you met a voluntary moratorium? And the best part about it is that if we look at the very last line, or continue to conduct the applicable gain-of-function research until the end of the currently active budget period. But here comes the problem. You know who is supplying the budget? an indefinite term, unlimited amount contract from DARPA and from NIH. Isn't it convenient to have a perpetually funded project that needs to stop when the money runs out, when you find out that there is no point where the money runs out because there is no end to the thing that has no end? Unless you think that I'm making an allegation, which I'm not, I'm making an accusation. Let's be clear. And there's a big difference. I'm not alleging anything. They actually went to the trouble of telling us that it was going to... Well, the translators are gone.
Oh, I guess that's it. I would like to see anybody dispute what you just heard. Again, yeah, I told you so. It's my money, $25.49. So if the situation is perfect, you would try to go to the range. Well, glad the next video you lower the temperature requirement to 50, so there's a chance. Oh, heck yeah. I mean, I'm taking Tuesday off because I'm also taking it's going to be me, Christine, Dave, and Pa going out to breakfast at Ace's. Anybody's in the area, we'll be there at 9 o'clock. I guess there's a chance if the weather's going to be nice. I had a long conversation with Tom, Range Officer Tom, and he's like, I'm with you, Eric. He goes, I like to get out there when nobody's there, but I can't remember. He just told me, I don't remember what day it was now. There's something going on. They're doing a conceal and carry class. So you really don't want to go up there that day. But yeah, I want to try to get up there sooner than later because the campers are going to start moving in soon. Yes. Cobra says, well, here we are again. McLean, Eric, I suggest meditation and circular breathing to get more in tune with your heartbeat and breathing, and a lot of patience. Become one with your body and learn force without forcing. Nerd. Oof. What were you saying, McLean? McLean, 38 minutes. Eat it. Spy money. As for Trump performance, Doge was drastic, but our deficit spending require drastic measures. Tariffs will increase prices, but if negotiations force an industry that will need to bring back production to the U.S., it will be more than justified. Having tariffs, read more button, thoof. Having tariffs on commodities we do not have in the U.S. and cannot duplicate is not wise, such as coffee beans, raw materials needed for industrial production, scotch. I am not in favor of spending captured, non-convicted aliens to prison controlled by foreign government and we pay them for the service. Did I accidentally skip a line? No. Sending them to prison like Guantanamo Bay and we own is fine. sending them back to a country where they have an outstanding warrants, and they put them in prison fine. I also heard Elon talk about the fraud and criminal activities that they discovered. Like someone in Social Security Administration stealing Social Security numbers and selling them to illegal aliens. And Leticia James, mortgage fraud, yet no charges are being filed. File charges, or it's bullshit. I picked that up for you just so you wouldn't get it pulled. But there was probably so much in there, Smile Money, that they never even would have got if you got to the end if you said bullshit. No, you're... Okay, so, look, anyone that bitches about Smile Money, he just said an entire paragraph, and there's absolutely nothing in there that I disagree with, or, what's that hanging right there, that I disagree with or would have my blood pressure get raised. Touche, perfect. Smile Money. Products you obtain for your service: Crate Club, Battle Box, Through Night, Fiachi, Core Belts. You did not mention that income. All that shit fell off of my boat, which I forgot to claim this year. My boat, that is. Yeah. She's wearing pink cowboy boots, a black two-piece thong bikini, and big hooped earrings. Because we all know, the bigger the hoop, the bigger the dick they desire. Sharky! And this is it. We're already to the end. So, by making you listen to the truth, we're coming up on an hour. Perfect. Yes. Sharky, cheers all. Baby me do door intro babe, personal favorite. Here we go. Yes, she is. Sharky. Sharky, I bet the finish of my bottle opener is still perfectly fine. If not, it's trash knife. Laugh out loud. I'm actually seeing if great. I think the marks that are on it would actually rub off. Just so there's proof, this is the side that neither one of us have used. This is the side that he used and I've been using. So there's, let me get the lighting just right. That's it. There's no material missing. Actually, the blade looks Sharky, I like this. If it wasn't over $100, I would buy their fixed blade version of this. It reminds me a lot of that one that you told me to get because it was like $30-something, and then I gave it away to one of Jay's sons, and now the price has like tripled on it. This would be a great carry knife if it had a pocket clip. I don't know why they decided to. I mean, there's no drilling. There's no. I mean, it could still be in the pocket because, like right now, I don't have this. I don't have my fidget. My fidget spinner is not. Real steel. Why? Because, bitch. No, Sharky, I think this is an awesome knife. Would I pay $100 for it? No. Oh my God, blade centering is not perfect on it. I don't know if that's because it's been thoroughly abused by me, but who cares? I mean, yes. Mr. 27. Sharky says, Delta 8. D8. D8 is a miss. Chunky monkeys. Sharky says SH classic outro poster. On to the F1 sprint race. Yeah, he's been giving me updates and shit on that. What did I give yesterday's? If I gave yesterday's a 7, I'd give this a 7.5. It's good. Alcohol percentage, 4%. Geez, you could drink like 30 of these. Let's see, first into the club. Cobra, I'm in the clubhouse, dropping a deuce.
Oh, come on now, that ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
I hope her tattoos are like the outlines, and this is just the start. I hope her zipper breaks too. Rich says, cheers, clubbers. Cheers, Rich. Smile Money says, cheers, clubbers. Cheers, Smile Money. And Bad says, howdy, clubbers. Howdy, Bad. Oofda. Okay. That's good. Since how I can, let's go check the actual video. Sort by newest first. Dun, 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 dun. Oops, Smile Money. I send stuff that I want to see, like paying your first range fee on Dead On and contributing to the long range camera system. Yes, awesome. That was awesome. I appreciate that very much. Targets and even the 45 projectiles. Not buying you alcohol that is damaging your health, with a couple of exceptions. The one exception was the specialty Dick Nozzle gift card. I just thought it was funny, but you used it to buy booze. And it keeps falling. I have to make some kind of a holder so that it just, stays like right there. I try to put it here, but it just doesn't. That happens. EMT got canned. I didn't think Canada elected another libtard, just like we didn't elect one in 2020. But in all honesty, do we really want Canada as the 51st state with as many libtards as they are there and having those votes? No, we don't. Rich says, piss water. Oh, I can translate it. Mr. 27 says at 38 seconds, yummy brew babes. Yeah, she's El Smoko. Looks like everything else. Yep, everything else made it through. let's check the club. Let's check the clubhouse to see if anyone's hiding inside. Nope. Okay, so tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow, we're looking at the Jimmy John's Big Dick Pickle whatever one, I guess. So check out the Ms. Bomey Zone tonight. She's talking about conspiracy theories. Cheers.